I'm getting ready to take a trip to Thailand and Vietnam and Tokyo. And I know that some of the airlines we're going to be on are small and have some pretty strict size requirements for luggage. So I want to show you what I got for my checked luggage. You can see this cool little box. Looks like maybe the size of an oversized um, computer bag. And here's my checked luggage. Pretty amazing, huh? So this cool bag, and this is about the first time I've opened it and put it together, so be patient with me. Open it up, and it suddenly expands into a larger 24-inch, actually, bag. It can be expanded to, I think, 28 inches, but 24 inches is really all I need. Plus, that's the size requirement for the airline I'm going to be on. So as you can see, I just zipped it together. I can carry it this way. It'll be obviously a little fatter when I've got my stuff in it. Or I can drag it along this way. It has wheels that are 360 degrees, which I'm going to put on. But when I'm not using my luggage, when I'm between trips, and I live in a pretty small, cramped space, so I need to take consideration of all of the space that I have available, this will fold right back down into that little box, and I can slide it under my bed. And so I just think this is a pretty amazing piece of luggage. According to the directions, it only weighs 2.2 kilograms. Easy storage, I've already mentioned. It does have a 3-year warranty. Heavy duty fabric, and that's important because it's going to be checked, so it's going to be a little bit manhandled. And it has this bottom, which is real sturdy. And it's expandable from 24 inches to, I believe, 28 inches. So I just wanted to share this because I'm pretty excited to try out this new piece of luggage. And now I'm going to fill it. I have done quite a bit of traveling over the 30 years since I got my first passport, but I've never been to Southeast Asia before. We are going to Thailand and to Vietnam and to Japan. And I wasn't quite sure what would be appropriate to take. I needed to know what the weather was going to be like. I'm generally a t-shirts and leggings kind of person, but I knew that was going to be too hot for the areas that we would be traveling in. So I watched quite a few videos to determine what sorts of things I should pack. I like to pack as lightly as I can because I don't want to be responsible for a whole lot of luggage. I am going to check a bag, and I also have a carry-on that I will take with me. So that's how much luggage I'm going to be packing. And I wanted to show you the things that are actually going to be in my checked luggage and give you an idea of why I chose what I did. I learned many years ago that it's easiest for me if I choose a couple of colors that my outfits are going to be while I'm traveling so that I can mix and match and I don't overpack and take too much stuff. So for this trip, my colors are black and white, which is pretty universal, and my accent color is blue. And so as I was doing a little bit of shopping, I found blue tops, or I looked in my closet and found blue tops. Where we're going to be, capris are going to be a good idea. So I've got blue capris. Gray is a shade of black, so I'm going to count that. And I've also got some black ones. And I'm only taking 4 pair of capri and 5 tops because I know that we'll have access to laundry if necessary. I'm also going to take a couple of dresses. Normally, That's not my style. I'm usually leggings and t-shirt kind of person, but I think that it will be cool. Plus, I want to be prepared just in case there are some special occasions or special locations that I will be visiting. For instance, I'm going to be celebrating my 70th birthday when we are in Bangkok. And my son and I have already booked a cruise, a little dinner cruise on the river. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to wear something a little nicer for the birthday celebration. And I think it'll probably be a dress. These are actually dresses, and I tend to roll my clothes rather than lay them out flat in my suitcase because they seem to come out a little less wrinkled when I get to my destination. This black dress is actually the sister to this blue dress, and this is what I will be wearing on my birthday for the cruise, unless I change my mind. But right now, that's the plan. A few other things. I have this beautiful, very thin, but lovely top that I'm going to wear over the dress so that I have a little bit of covering. It looks a little fancy, and that's, as I say, probably what I'm going to wear on my birthday. Of course, I've got a swimsuit and a cover up, and I like to put it in a Ziploc because then they stay together. Of course, I've got the under things that I would need to take. Flip-flops apparently are the shoes to wear in Bangkok, so I've got my flip-flops. I've also got a pair of sandals for the little dinner cruise and some slide-ons. As I'm actually on the flights traveling to and from Southeast Asia, I will be wearing leggings and a t-shirt, and I will have my sweater because planes sometimes are a little chilly, and I'm wearing more sturdy shoes that are good for walking, and I'm going to be wearing compression socks because that's just a good idea for a very long flight from Austin, Texas, all the way over to Bangkok, Thailand, with a nice layover in Amsterdam for a few hours so we can kind of stretch our legs and stretch our bodies a little bit and enjoy the Amsterdam airport, which is really a lovely shopping area. Okay, as far as the medical stuff and the toothbrush and all of that sort of thing, that's pretty standard, so there's no reason for me to go through that. But I did want to mention a couple of things that I always bring when I travel. And let me preface this by saying this is not medical advice, this is not health advice, this is just what I do because I know it's good for my body. One of the things that I bring is a Ziploc with a few packets of mustard. Why would I need mustard when I'm traveling? Well, I have found that if I get leg cramps, if I take a packet or two of mustard and then have a little bit of water after it just to get the taste out of my mouth, it actually helps with my leg cramps. So that's why I take that. You may have your own thing that you do. I also have in my checked luggage a bottle of oil of oregano, which is something that I use if I feel like I've got a little bit of a scratchy throat or if I feel like I might be potentially getting a little under the weather. I just find that oil of oregano is a great help for me. So those are a couple of things that I always travel with. I'm also going to bring a bottle of activated charcoal, which is really good for a digestive aid. Hopefully I won't need to use it. Hopefully I'll come home with a bottle that hasn't even been opened yet. But if I end up with a bit of a tummy ache because I'm eating foods that are unfamiliar to me, I want to be prepared just in case because I don't want to miss any of my travel time feeling under the weather. So remember when I showed you this great new suitcase and all of the things that I had on my bed that I was going to pack into it? Those things have now been put in the suitcase, and I still have about half a suitcase worth of space available. So I could have brought twice as many things. I'm not going to do that because I don't need to, besides the fact that I want to be conscious of the weight for the suitcase, but so much extra space available. And so I decided that I would just take an old pillow and I'm going to put it right in here. Hopefully this will work. Now my suitcase is full. And I did not add very much weight, which is important because I think I can only have 50 pounds. So anyhow, little hack that I just came up with, so feel free to use it. And here's this great piece of luggage that I'm taking. Of course, along with my checked luggage, I will have a small carry-on suitcase. And I've got this here ready to pack. I've put a change of clothing in a bag so that they will stay clean. And then if I need to put dirty clothes in there, that will be fine. And I always bring a change of clothing just in case for some reason my checked luggage is not available when I get to my destination and has to be delivered to the hotel. I need something to change into. So that's what that is. And of course, something to sleep in case it's an overnight situation. I am also going to put my laptop in here. The laptop isn't actually in this bag yet because I'm not through using it, but I like to make sure I've got the space to put it. And I always put my laptop in my carry-on because, of course, I don't want it to go underneath with the rest of the luggage. I have a novel in case I get bored. It is a long flight. I have crossword puzzles, and I also have pencils because I'm not a crossword puzzle with ink person. I'm not that confident. So I'm going to put that in the front so it's easy to get to. Of course, I have my travel journal. This is a really important part of what I pack for any trip because I like to keep track of the excitement, the adventures, the feelings of each day. And if I write it down at the end of the day, then the next day I have a clean slate. And I can make new memories and have new things to put in the book, but I don't have to remember from yesterday's activities because who wants to take up the memory space for that? So that will go inside. I mentioned the mustard packets that are essential, and they will also go in here with the charcoal. I have a little point and shoot camera. Generally, I use a DSLR camera, but I just decided for this trip, I didn't want to be responsible for a big camera. So I'm just bringing my little point and shoot and my iPhone, and fingers crossed that the photos will be lovely, and I will be glad that I made this decision because this might have been one of the most challenging debates I had in my head about what to bring for this trip. I've got the microphone that I use for videos. I have the selfie stick / tripod that's actually being used at this moment, but it's going to go in here too. More pens and pencils. My brush, because obviously I'm going to need that. And makeup and some baby wipes, because sometimes you just need to freshen up while you're on your trip. And those might actually go into the crossover bag that I'm going to be wearing when I'm on the plane. And what I have in here right now are an eye mask so that I can sleep. I have earbuds so that I can tune out the noise. I have a money belt, which is not going to be in here. It's going to be on me. I have tissues. I have the pencils that I need for my crosswords. I have some cough drops. I don't generally cough, but you know, it gets real dry in the airplane. And I want to make sure that I'm not coughing because people tend to get a little nervous about that sort of thing. And I've got my jewelry that stays with me. I have a little pouch in the back, which is where my passport will be. And my cash and credit card will be in my money belt, which will be around my body. And I'm also going to put in my pocket this empty water bottle so that when I get to the airport, I can fill it up and I can stay hydrated. So that's pretty much all of the packing that I am doing for a 1-month trip to Southeast Asia with my son. We're going to make some amazing memories. We're going to have some amazing food and see some places that I had never even dreamed of seeing. I'm also going to be meeting some people that I know through Utah. Rob and Allie from Grounded Travel Retirement. Some new friends and having some wonderful new experiences. And I will be sharing those with you along the way. If you found any of this information that I've shared about packing to be helpful for you, then please give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you'd like to. And I look forward to chatting with you again next time.